The Massacre of St. Andrew Hospital, Part 9. It was already happening. The broadcast resumes, but something is wrong with the pacing. As Diane begins speaking a second too late, as if she's catching up to herself. She looks briefly toward the control room again, then back to Paul, trying to regain control of the conversation. Her voice is steady, but there is a strain now, something held together instead of natural. "Paul, you said it's adjusting." He nods once, his attention still drifting beyond the cameras, as if he is tracking something that no one else can see. Diane asks him what that means, pressing him to explain clearly, but Paul doesn't answer right away. Instead, he looks back at her with a calm that feels completely out of place. It was already happening. A brief silence follows, heavier than expected, as Diane tries to interpret what he means. She asks him to clarify, but her tone has shifted, less confident now, more careful. Paul leans forward slightly, his voice quiet but certain. "Before we said anything, before you asked about her, it was already here." Diane's expression tightens as she processes that, glancing again toward the control room as if expecting direction. No one interrupts, no one reacts. She turns back to Paul. "What is here?" Paul doesn't respond immediately, his gaze drifting again, slower this time, scanning the edges of the studio. When he finally speaks, his voice is lower than before. "The part that watches." The words settle into the room, and Diane hesitates before responding, something she hasn't done this openly before. She tries to move forward, asking if he's suggesting this is psychological, a response to trauma. Paul shakes his head. "No." A pause. "It's not in me," Diane presses, asking if he understands how that sounds. But her voice lacks the firmness it had earlier. Paul doesn't argue, he simply looks at her. "It's not in you either." Silence. Diane doesn't respond right away, and for a moment, the broadcast feels suspended, like it has lost its rhythm entirely. She finally shifts, trying to move the conversation forward, but something in her posture has changed. "Let's stay focused," she says, though it sounds more like a reminder to herself. Paul watches her now, not the room, not the shadows, just her. "You're starting to notice it." Diane shakes her head immediately. "No, too fast." She looks down briefly, gathering herself, then back up. "There's nothing here, Paul." Paul nods slowly. "I know." A pause. That's how it stays. The words land harder than anything before, and Diane's composure slips just slightly as she glances again toward the control room. This time, her expression changes, confusion replacing control. "Did we?" she starts, then stops. A brief silence follows. "Did we already cover this?" Paul doesn't answer, he just watches her. Commercial break. The cut comes abruptly, sharper than before, as bright music floods the screen. A clean office environment appears. People smiling, shaking hands, everything controlled and normal. The voiceover speaks clearly about reliability, structure, and consistency. "We keep everything running exactly as it should." The image cuts to a wall of screens, each showing identical feeds of the same hallway. For a moment, one screen is slightly out of sync, just a fraction behind the others. Then it corrects itself. Cut to black. The broadcast returns mid-motion, Diane already adjusting her posture as if the conversation never stopped. She pauses suddenly, her expression tightening as she looks at Paul, then at her notes. Something doesn't line up. "Paul, I already asked you that." Her voice is quieter now, less certain. Paul tilts his head slightly. "No." A pause. "You didn't." Diane frowns, looking down at her notes again, flipping a page that feels unfamiliar. Her breathing changes slightly, just enough to notice. When she looks back up, her expression is no longer composed. "Then why does it feel like I did?" Silence. Paul leans forward slightly, his voice calm, controlled, certain. "Because it doesn't like repetition." The room tightens instantly. Diane doesn't move. What doesn't? Paul's eyes shift again, but only briefly this time, then back to her. "The part that corrects." Silence spreads across the studio, heavier than anything before. As Diane finally stops trying to control the conversation, the structure of the interview is gone now, replaced by something uncertain, something unstable. Paul speaks again, softer now. "It's fixing this." The red live light continues to blink, steady and unchanged. Stay tuned for part 10.